Why, hello there. Let's do a lab over the skeletal system. Okay, yeah, that was a little lame. But we're going to do a really fun lab today, and it's going to be a mess. And even if you are joining us from home, you can do it at home too with just a little bit of creativity and a few basic supplies that you probably have around the house. So what you're going to need is a stack of 15 to 20 regular old index cards. Doesn't matter what color or size they are, it's fine. Some tape. Masking tape works well. I'm going to use painter's tape in this video just so you can see it a little better. And some heavy objects. I'm using old, useless, outdated textbooks, but anything around the size of a book that is hard covered, you want a hard bottom that's not going to bend, right? Anything that you can stack one on top of the other without it warping, that's somewhat heavy. I don't know, maybe these are half a pound each. Anything like that will do. The more heavy objects, the better. Okay, so we are going to build 3 different types of bones. The first one is super easy. You just take an index card and you fold it hamburger style, short end to short end like this. All right. So it looks like that. Perfect. We're going to make 3 copies of each bone type. So you'll have 3 of these guys. The second type of bone we're going to do is a short, round-shaped bone. So this time, instead of folding and creasing, we're going to sort of roll it, okay? And it can overlap a tiny bit. It's not a big deal. Just don't have it overlapping too much. You should not be winding it tight by any means. Notice how big that is. I can fit 3 fingers inside this tube very easily. Okay, so for this part, we're going to need a little piece of tape. You'll need about 12 inches of tape total. I'm going to take about an inch or inch and a half and just go ahead and stick it on one end like that so it's ready. And then I'm going to roll up my bone, just a tiny bit of overlap, just enough so I can get that tape to really stick on there properly. And try and get it as even as you can. Okay, so there is the short, fat, cylindrical bone. Okay, that's type 2. Now let's do type 3. Type 3 is a long, skinny cylindrical bone. So again, I'm going to take another index card. And it's just 1 index card per bone. No cheating by overlapping them. And take another little piece of tape so it's ready. About 1.5 inches should do. But this time, I'm going to roll long end to long end, okay? So I'm going to put my tape along the long edge of my index card, so it's ready. Smooth it down, and now I'm going to roll it. And again, a tiny bit of an overlap is okay, just don't wind it tight. Because in any experiment, we have to have some controlled variables, some things that are going to be the same for every experimenter every time they do it. Okay? All right, so this is the long cylindrical bone, long skinny tube. All right, that was type 3. Type 4 looks complicated, but I'm going to show you the cheater way to do it. That's really easy. So we're going to start by folding it hamburger style, just like we did with the first bone. Short end to short end. Crease it flat. Now open it up. And we're going to fold each of those short ends to that center crease. right now it looks kind of like a book, right? Now I'm going to take a piece of tape, again, like an inch or an inch and a half. And I'm going to put it right over those two flaps where they meet in the middle, right on top, and as centered as I can. Okay, that's my two flaps at an angle so you can see. And now I'm just kind of going to turn it into a prism or a rectangle. Okay, so that is my short little rectangular bone. All right, now remember, we're going to make 3 of each bone type. So 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of these. It should really go this way. I'm going to do that off camera just to save you guys some time. This is a great place to pause and go ahead and start making your bones. Okay, so I've got 3 of each bone type. Now we're going to start and do our experiment with one type of bone at a time. I'm going to start with our little wedge-shaped bones. Here's where it gets fun. Now, we're going to see how much weight this type of bone, when there's 3 of them together, see how much weight they can hold. How you position them is up to you, but, spoiler alert, if you put them like this, they're not going to hold much weight at all. So put them like this, give them a chance, all right? I'm gonna put mine, I don't know, in a triangle. You might do yours in a semi-square. See what works. Okay, now take one of your flat, heavy objects, and you're gonna just carefully try and balance it on top of your 3 bones. I'm not gonna let mine go, but you try and do it. Keep stacking until the whole thing collapses. The challenge of this lab is to make the highest stacks, and we want to see which type of bone can hold the most weight. Now, our skeletal system does a lot more for us than just hold us up, okay? It gives us shape, it allows us to move using our muscles, which connect to our bones, right? But none of those things are really easy to test with index cards. How much weight they can hold, that we can test. So as you're doing this, I want you to think about what type of bone would each of these different models maybe represent in my own body? Which bones do I have in my body that are kind of strong or kind of short and wide or long and skinny? What do they do for my body? Think about the functions and the structure. How are they shaped? What are they good for? Okay, so we'll test these out. After your tower body collapses, your stack of books, whatever you're using, move on to the next type. Now, I am not combining different types of bones in one trial. I'm using all wedge-shaped, and then for the second round, I'm going to do all short, wide, cylindrical bones, okay? So it's just one type of bone, but I am using all 3. And once again, I'm going to carefully try and balance my heavy object on top. If it holds, I'll add another. If it holds, I'll add another, and I'll keep going until it cannot hold any more weight and it collapses in a blaze of glory. And then everybody yells, Jenga! And it's great. Okay, have a great time. Make some messes. Do not use your Chromebook. Please do not use your Chromebook as a heavy object, because it will come crashing to the ground. And that $50 deposit that you put down does not pay for the Chromebook. Okay? Do not use pets, do not use siblings, do not use your grandparents' valuable plates. Use things that nobody cares about, and preferably do it away from sleeping babies.